Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork. In today's video, we'll be talking about Solana NFTs and some whale action that happened last night. So a huge thank you to Saint Eclectic for dropping this post right here. Make sure to give him a follow. And the reason why we're talking about this post, because 6GFi, this is the wallet that essentially purchased a bunch of SMBs, Degenerate Apes, Thugbirds, Geckos, Auroras, and some Solsteads. And there's a special thing when it comes to SMB 1417 because he's one of the triggers that essentially led to all these different buys. If you're wondering how I know that, if you jump on the Curious George bot in the monkey DAO right here, or you can just watch it with me right now, you can see the 1417 was bought by this 6GFi wallet. You can see it ends at 1x and it ends at 1x right here as well. And what's interesting is that they bought monkey after monkey after monkey after monkey. So many monkeys being bought, didn't stop. And just note, we'll talk about this monkey, but there was some unfortunate stuff that happened. That's why there's a bunch of emotes with this. Someone tried to get in on the action while 6GFi was buying stuff as well. But you can see 6GFi just kept going, buy monkey, 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 and so many different monkeys. Some people were trying to I guess buy their own monkeys because they had like some FOMO sort of feeling. But yeah, look at all these monkeys essentially being bought. It's an absolutely beautiful thing that you can see right here. Essentially stopped with the green shades, but oh my goodness, like the amount of monkeys they bought, it's thousands of SOL, like actual thousands, just SMBs alone. And not to mention, you saw some action with 5LT. This is another wallet that was able to push the SMBs and push other projects to greater heights, such as the CryptoCubz that we'll talk about later. And very interesting that they bought this monkey in particular. It's an anime reference. I'm not sure if you guys get it, but for the most part, thank you to 6GFi for essentially purchasing all these different projects because it really raised the bar on a couple of things. If you're wondering, what does this 6GFi wallet look like? You can see the money right here. I don't need to talk about it. It speaks for itself. This is 6GFi, 1x at the very end like we talked about earlier. And if you look at how much Solana they hold, it's 1675. Of course, they had more initially when they were doing all these crazy purchases. If you go on Sol Scan right here, you can also see 1675 Sol. And what's interesting is if you try to track all the different transactions that happen for this wallet, they definitely hid their tracks in the sense that there are other transactions occurring where you can't even figure out if this person actually bought these monkeys. So huge thank you to people like Saint Eclectic for essentially having this information available to us so we can actually see what this wallet did. Because if you go in Zookeeper right now and you check out this wallet, you will not see a single trace of any of the things he purchased whatsoever. In fact, this wallet looks completely normal and you might not ever know, like what if a wallet like this were to buy like an unknown project? The only reason why we caught 6GFi actually doing stuff was because he bought a monkey and he bought top projects and people will notice top projects. But of course, like this is something to digress. And then let's go ahead and look at the actual market caps. I know it's higher on the right hand side, which is the 2-day difference, but just note that Sol was at $157 and now Sol is at around 143 roughly. But you can see with the different floor prices, SMBs 2 days ago was 240 Sol, DAAs or Degenerate Apes were 60, Geckos were 28, and Aurora was 28. You can see all the prices essentially have bumped up significantly since the 2 days have occurred. It's all thanks to the 6GFi wallet. It's really crazy how like just one entity can essentially push the prices of some of the top projects. And this is why some of the top projects will stay like the way they are, because there's going to be wallets that are essentially going to be purchasing everything because they know that these ones are going to go far. They will sometimes touch the smaller projects if they see some sort of long-term vision with it, but it's sort of hard to tell which of like the short-term or smaller projects will get bought up. These were the ones that they definitely went in on and had some huge buys in. But let's go ahead and jump into some sadder news. Thank you to Nam for giving me this information. So this zombie monk was actually part of a scam, unfortunately. In case you guys want more information on that, here's going to be Gundi, the original owner of this zombie monk right here. But you can see Gundi was essentially trying to do a transaction. He got scammed. And what's really sad about this transaction in particular is because Gundi was going to use this zombie monk right here to actually fund his pizza shop. He was going to use something in real life for this monkey. This monkey was legit going to change his life. Unfortunately, he was scammed. I just want to let folks know, amidst like all the crazy like sales and all the things happening, it was really great. Essentially, a scammer jumped in there and was able to purchase the zombie monk. Notice that 6GFi did not purchase this monk. It's just really unfortunate. I guess like this huge like FOMO sense of buying and someone bought this on accident or didn't know. I'm sure it's not like the buyer's fault. The thing is it's really unfortunate this sort of scam occurred in the first place. But let's go ahead and jump into some brighter news. Thank you to Brett from FTX for posting some information on the new marketplace. You can see right here, FTX has changed things up. You can see the markets, NFTs now available in OTC. And the reason why why NFTs being on FTX is such a big deal is because this means that people never have to leave the exchange to essentially buy these tokens, or some would say JPEGs, but in actuality, these are just NFTs or non-fungible tokens. They're tokens when it comes down to blockchain semantics. People can just stay here and buy stuff, and you don't have to create a phantom wallet. You don't have to jump on Solana. You don't have to touch all these different platforms. It makes the user experience for buying NFTs just much easier. Some people might say FTX listing stuff isn't a big deal. Right now, it's not a big deal. It's sort of like the calm before the storm. Honestly, what's more exciting was 6G5 at the moment because he kind of stole the show. FTX doing their listings is sort of bullish, but right now it won't see anything crazy because it's still in its younger phases. But just know if, like, you know, someone covered this on the news, like an SMB gets bought for a ridiculous amount of money, then maybe people will jump on FTX and start buying some NFTs because they see huge potential. Because even CryptoPunks can't be sold on FTX right now, but I'm sure in the future maybe that will happen. Overall, it's super bullish on Solana because you can't buy NFTs like this on any exchange regardless of the coin. Solana, FTX, first ones to do it right here on an actual exchange. Just some things to note: the total seller fees is 7%. Actual listing fees are going to be 0. So whenever you list a monkey or you list like any project in general, it's going to be 0. The only time a seller fee is incurred is if you actually sell the item, right? And what's interesting is you can also see all the different trades by recent activity right here. And just note the highest purchase things were some Sologons. I'm not sure why Sologons are getting bought. I haven't looked into the project, but it looks like people are just essentially bidding really low and trying to buy like some stuff for fairly low. It's sort of interesting to sort of watch FTX grow, but in my opinion, super bullish for the Solana NFT ecosystem in general, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future with it. The next things being is CryptoCubz with the roadmap green paw. And quick disclosure, of course, none of my videos are financial advice, and when it comes to CryptoCubz in general, I own some, just so you guys know. They are doing something special. So they're combining concepts from essentially Bored Ape Yacht Club and Genesis Kongs. The reason or how they're doing that is the OG Cub collection will be able to take this eggplant elixir and turn into mutants. And the difference between Bored Ape Yacht Club and the Cub collection is that essentially OG Cubs will be burnt to create the mutant Cubs. Currently in Bored Ape Yacht Club, if you take like the elixir, your Bored Ape will turn into a mutant, but they're not burned. So this burn mechanism is unique to the CryptoCubz. And what's interesting with the mutant collection is some of them will have the green paw trait. And this green paw trait will be able to generate tokens known as the eggplant. One eggplant is one eggplant. So there's no sort of financial gain with this. It's just an eggplant token that can be used in a marketplace to eventually turn your mutant cub and your OG cub to breed together to essentially create this hybrid cub right here. You know, more details to that, but just note that this is also known as a green paw trait cub, which will be able to generate eggplant. And what's interesting is there's going to be 2,500 hybrid cubs. Interesting how this is all limited. There's only going to be 5,000 OG cubs if all of the OG cubs are actually burnt using the eggplant elixir, and there will only be 5,000 mutant cubs, essentially 2,500 hybrids. And what's different with, like, you know, the green paw sort of trait from Genesis Kongs, because Genesis Kongs, they can generate bananas and stuff, is that the mutant cub collection will actually be able to breed with OG cubs like we talked about earlier in order to create like the actual hybrid collection, which will do stuff differently. Overall, I know I talked about the CryptoCubz, might have been a little bit confusing, but this whole functionality and this whole utility with the NFT PFPs, this is hyper aggressive. And if you didn't know, OG Cubs already have like this already like sort of demoed where they're changing into mutants. This is practically going to happen October 14th this week, which is insane. And then hybrid Cubs will come later down in the future with the eggplant tokens. Really crazy news happening for CryptoCubz and makes me really bullish on Solana NFTs in general. And let's go ahead and look at overall like market sentiment. If you look at like 24-hour change, CryptoCubz are definitely on a high. So if you want to get some CryptoCubz, maybe now's the time. But honestly, you don't have to get them. You don't have to purchase them. I'm just letting you know this is something really cool, and hopefully other NFTs will sort of notice that this is happening in the Solana ecosystem and maybe take a hint. They might try this approach as well. But obviously, this is really hard to sort of tackle. So it's not something that's just going to happen overnight. It's going to take maybe a couple weeks, if not days, if not months. You just never know. But when it comes to like the whole Solana ecosystem right now, we're definitely living on a high with 6G5 essentially pumping everything, and the markets are looking good. And if you want to sort of see like big picture, like when it comes to like Solana, all the different like price actions, if you check out Galactic Geckos right here, you can see on the 30th, we talked about before, it was down and then it went into like this sort of peak at 64 Sol. I know like you can see like this 16 Sol sol purchase. It was just some weird person who I guess messed with the metric. If you actually look at the geckos right now, they're selling for like roughly like 33 sol, but in the end they're essentially up overall thanks to 65. Whales really make a huge difference when it comes to the scenes. You know, sort of condolences when it comes to Gundi and his like zombie monk. It's just sad to see, but overall FTX listing NFTs on their exchange is insanely bullish for the Solana ecosystem. In case you guys are wondering for the giveaways, I already contacted everyone, so no more giveaways on the channel like as of now, because there's so many people trying to do scams in the comments and the YouTubes and whatnot. If someone is like, hey, join this Discord, we'll do like this secret transaction to give you like $1 million or whatever, just don't believe them right now. There's way too many scammers, and I'll let you guys know in case we do a giveaway, but right now, nothing. I'm not contacting you. Yeah, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Let me know if you guys want more content like this, overall like market like analysis. I don't really post too many videos because I only post information when something huge is essentially happening for Solana NFTs. I feel like it's a little bit better that way, but if you want daily videos, just let me know down in the comments. Anyways, have yourself a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.